You're locked in here to the station of the stars, and joining us, it is Grow Your Life with your CEO, Ofra Gaito of Verdant Life. Once you stay locked in and don't touch that dial, you can join us on any one of our platforms, YouTube and or Facebook.
Secret life of man.
You're tuned in to Omega Radio with your host, Ofra Gaito, with Grow Your Life, the program that goes beyond houseplants and gardening.
Good afternoon, everyone, and we are here again at Omega Radio 101.9, and we continue with our subject from last week, Friday, with my guest, Catherine Shapiro, who also has her own podcast on 101.9 FM, and her podcast is on Wednesdays at 11 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is called Creative Space. And the reason Catherine is here today is because she is a specialist about art. She is an artist herself and has been so for many, many years. She moved here with her husband in 2012 from California, and that was when she unfortunately found out that she was suffering from Parkinson's disease, and the art was one of her way to express herself and heal herself, and she's doing so until today.
Absolutely. And, I'm definitely living proof of the healing capacity of art and of plants, by the way. I was a very frustrated gardener there for a while, having not been in a house for several years. And it was a revelation to me that we could grow as many plants as we do here in Florida. And Ofra has been very kind to me and helpful to me in the ways of growing plants. And I am so happy to be here to talk about the healing power and the properties of plants that make them great for artists, too.
Yes, and plants and art can come together in many ways. And there is a symbolism that plants and flowers have been used as symbols in art for centuries to represent ideas, emotions, and actions. And for example, rose can symbolize love, lily can symbolize purity, and sunflower can symbolize happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's an aesthetic appeal. Plants can add color and texture to paintings, gardens, and landscapes.
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
Absolutely. I have been told that the sunflower is also the national flower of Ukraine. It has been a plant that literally changed the world, from the fact that you could eat it to the fact that you could use it in so many different ways. And sunflowers in paintings are very, very common. In fact, they're also a symbol of happiness, joy, and renewal. We have so many different ways to be inspired by plants. Every morning in the morning when I wake up, first thing I do is I get up, look out the window, and see my garden. It's one of the joys of my entire life.
That is beautiful. Yeah, I agree with you that you can breathe and start your day.
Absolutely. And I have drawn quite a few of the plants that I picked out from you, which is really interesting because you learn how to actively see the world, and you can change your perspective based on the plant and the placement and the different things that it does.
Yes, I 100% agree with you. And you actually gave me a beautiful artwork that you created, painting from acrylic. A beautiful one that I'm going to frame, and it is of a succulent.
There's a little story behind that. during Hurricane Irma, I guess it was back in 2017, we had to leave our house and we were in a hotel. And while I was waiting for my hubby to check me out, here it is, this little cactus sitting on the table right next to the checkout desk. And I thought, I'm going to grab my sketchbook and sketch it. So I sketched it and then painted it because I was waiting a very long time. And as it turned out, it was a beautiful painting, about 5 by 7, and it turned out amazingly, and it completely relaxed me and helped me forget my troubles.
Yes, and I really appreciate it and I cherish it. And thank you so much for giving it to me.
It's a pleasure.
And so there is a lot of aesthetic appeal, with plants. They add color and texture to paintings, gardens.
And to design.
Yes.
Louis Comfort Tiffany was an amazing user of natural flowers and plants in his stained glass and in his art.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, there was a studio in New York City back in when his art was being created and invented that specifically had watercolors and used women's art in expression for his lamps and stained glass windows and all sorts of things. In fact, you can see a lot of it up in Orlando. It is just a wonderful museum. It's the Louis Comfort Tiffany Museum. And what you'll do is just Google it under Louis Comfort Tiffany, Florida, and you will be able to find the wonderful place that houses a lot of his stained glass windows. In fact, in St. Augustine, the biggest collection of stained glass in a public environment is in Flagler College there in St. Augustine.
Wow, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. And, talking about glass and flowers, there is in the Bellagio in Las Vegas, there is the Chihuly. All those plants that he created all over the ceiling at the Bellagio, and it is stunning. It is such a unique artwork made from glass.
And it's an amazing art form. In fact, there was an exhibit several years ago at Flamingo Gardens at night where they were lit up. They're just extraordinary creations.
And also at Fairchild Gardens, they had the Chihuly glass in flowers and plants, and it was in the evening lit, and that was very unique exhibition for quite a long time.
Currently, one of his best exhibits is up in Oklahoma City. Wow, actually,
amazing.
believe it or not.
Yes, he's Italian. Chihuly.
Yes, he is, absolutely.
Very
He
talented
learned
man.
how to do his glass from Milan and
Yes.
Milano.
Yes, and I actually experienced one of the factories in Italy in Murano glass. I was in the factory and I got myself a piece of vase when we visited there, and so the plants can be used as living art in incorporating them into displays, or as a glass, and can be different materials. A lot of artists that do pottery, wheel throwing, do also a lot of use of plants into their artwork. And installations around the world have used plants, botanical dyes, and textiles as artwork.
When I said last week that kings and private owners going on exhibitions would take artists along with them, one of the reasons they did that was to find plants that had never been seen before and now are used for a lot of things, including medicines, dyes, all sorts of stuff. Indigo was a very, very important contributor to the economy of the United States and around the world, really. And the recipe for the dye was brought by a great many of Caribbean peoples who migrated here, who were brought here as slaves, unfortunately. And we visited a lot of wonderful places in Charleston where you could find out more about that. So
Definitely, the artists have used plants to convey messages, as you said, about human existence, about morality, and our connection with nature. And it is depictions in art that can help people to connect with and strengthen the bond with the world itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you remember, years and years ago, before there were photographs, before there were even pen and pencil, there was art. There were cavemen who put art on their caves with ashes from the fire, with dyes that they found in their fruit and vegetables while they were gathering their food.
In
And
Egypt, you have a lot in Egypt that you can see those ancient writing, and a lot of it are plants, animals
in
that
fact,
they
that's what
use.
they used to make their paper out of, the papyrus plant.
That's it. Exactly.
Absolutely. So we are indebted to plants in a way that is just amazing.
Oh, yeah. And we don't actually notice how much it is all involved together, the art world and the plant world. It's really mesh one inside the other. And of course, doing artwork regarding plants, around the plants, helps mental health, of course. Spending time in gardens and doing gardening can have positive mental health benefits. Drawing plants, the artwork itself is of healthy mental condition for human
It's
being.
been proven, as a matter of fact, that every time you get up and you use a pen to draw a picture, it lowers your blood pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, I have a very good friend of mine who spends her time in oncology wards during days where they're giving their patients cancer therapy and chemo. And what she does is she'll go in there and do small, teach the patients how to do very small greeting size card sized flowers.
Amazing. Amazing.
And it is amazing how much they relax and they feel better, and the treatment goes so much better when patients are relaxed. So,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
And at Verdant Life, at my business here in Coral Spring, we offer different workshops, which you joined us to many of them. And we are introducing in September, next month, a brand new workshop, which is terrarium workshops. And they will involve terrariums with carnivorous plants
Oh,
and terrariums with succulents.
fabulous.
And the participants will be able to create their own. We will provide them the material, the glass terrarium, all the sand, the pebbles, and also some shells. So some of them, they want to glue them to the glass, they'll be able to do that. So we very much encourage people to come, to take some time for themselves, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We do serve food, and we do have cocktails and alcohol.
It
and
is a lot of fun. It truly is.
Thank you. Yeah, and and in general, if you want to get yourself plants, you can purchase our plants on our website. And for further information, you can visit verdantlife.com, and you spell it VERD like a dream, ANTLYFE.com. And just for you, our listeners on Omega Radio 101.9, we have a special code that will grant you 20% discount, which is Omega 20. So please visit us. We do have very good customer service between our team, and you can always reach out to us on hello@verdantlife.com, or you can call us on 786-244-3888. And we invite you, if you are in South Florida, come and visit our store. It is quite a different nursery.
It's remarkable. It really is. I would like to stay there all the time, but they just won't let me. So
It is a air-conditioned indoor nursery, and we have a beautiful large greenhouse, and we ship hundreds of plants all over United States every single week, and they arrive in immaculate conditions. You can read our Google reviews. We have beautiful reviews of our customers. And if you are in the area, please come and visit us. Follow us on social media. And we are on Facebook, on Instagram. We go live every single week, definitely on Fridays. And please remember, your time, energy, and peace are the most important things in your life. So you need to navigate them through the right channels. And as I always tell you, what we do at Verdant Lyfe is growing and caring for plants and art. And Catherine Shapiro has got wealth of information. Follow her on her podcast every Wednesday on Creative Space.
yes, ma'am, and you can reach me on my webpage or on any of the usual social media platforms. It's www.catscreationsart.com. And thank you for having me. I
Of
really
course,
do
it is
appreciate
absolutely my pleasure. She's got a wealth of information, and I always love listening to Catherine. And thank you very much for joining us. And we're looking forward to see you and talk to you next week, Friday at 1:45 sharp. God bless.
And be kind to each other.
You're tuned in to Omega Radio with your host, Ofra Gaito, with Grow Your Life, the program that goes beyond houseplants and gardening.
Feeling